Welcome back to Disco Elysium. Last time we spoke with Choice Messier, the representative of Wild Pines, the company who owns the harbor. For some reason, our dialogue tree was there. Shouldn't have been there. Regardless, we tried to squeeze some information on the lynching from her, but she's unwilling to speak with us so far because we don't have our badge and she doesn't want to part with trade secrets. So we agreed to look into the drug trade of the harbor. There are 3 drivers that we need to talk to, because at least one of them must know about the drug trade. And maybe after we do this, Choice will be more amicable to parting about the info on the lynching. We have some other stuff to do, like talk for Sylvie to Gart, track down her gun and her badge, send the victim's body to processing. There's a lot of stuff we have to do. But including pay for damages. We did get 60 real from Choice last time, so we do have the money to pay to Gart for the damages we caused in the hostel room. Perhaps that's something we should do, but for right now, well, we are looking into the Cham mystery, right? Let's click on these green orbs. I was trying to min-max this, but it really doesn't make sense for me not to look at these. Your room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than the sloop. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A. There's a blip. Looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. We have a door. We're policemen. It's our job to knock on doors and ask questions.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked.
Let's knock.
The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response.
Knock again.
The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
Hold on, who am I speaking to?
Doesn't matter who I am. Now go on, get out of here.
This is the police. Please open the door, ma'am.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
The hallways echoes with her cackle. But I'm not joking.
No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
She trails off, leaving the sentence unfinished.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east.
Kim, tell her we're real policemen, for crying out loud.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
The lieutenant repeats dutifully.
There is no reply. Just faint, sweeping sounds inside.
Well, we'll leave. But apparently there's a back door. Maybe we can get in through that way. Inside, the frame of a motorcycle in repair and the tools used to disassemble it. Cape Side Apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain to Roundabout North. Well, there's the back door. We also need to talk to the drivers about the drug trade. A lonely cormorant surveys the sea, indifferent to our approach. What's this on the wall here, then?
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
It's a conceptualization check. It's pretty low. It's at 80%. We get a +2 because Cindy's artistic impulses are infectious. I don't think we need to go for it right now. We can probably boost our conceptualization in many different ways. Let's leave it for the time being. Well, here's the kid who is shouting from us behind the fence, calling us a mulcoupin, among other things.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep? pigs come to take me out? Trying to snuff me out?
Her voice becomes almost inaudible. No, why would she even say that?
Then why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea to scare me, pig. Not a good idea at all.
Fine. I guess we won't be conversing with the kid. Ooh, some money. And some magnesium to boost our morale. A garden hose. This won't be of use until the snow melts.
Hey, what's that noise down there?
Chairs and tables eaten by rain and rot. Oh, somebody's on the balcony. Somebody's smoking on the balcony. Maybe they can let us inside. Although, we really don't have a reason to get inside at the moment. There must be another way into the building.
It's been a week and now they show up?
Yeah, we were indulged in heavy drinking. Not really looking into the body situation. You up there!
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
He says in a quiet voice. Despite the cold, his shirt hangs unbuttoned on his frame. No trouble for me. I just want to know what's going on here.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Is it really that important?
Oh, I accidentally pressed space. Told him that the gendarmerie really needs to talk to you.
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Looks like you have a good view of the Whirling's backyard. Can you tell me anything about the hanging?
I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite a disturbing sight, even by Martinet's standards.
What were you doing last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
I'm pretty sure I didn't.
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
The lieutenant takes out his little blue notebook and writes something down.
Last week? I don't know. Look.
He looks around the courtyard again. Old patio chairs and dead houseplants litter the scene.
He's an actor, declaiming a soliloquy. See how you hang on his every word?
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
What kind of friend?
It was my Sunday friend.
What's your friend's real name? Did he see something?
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the grey sky, the neighboring windows are streaked with rain.
Can you tell me your name?
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
That's definitely not his real name.
Doesn't sound like a real name to me. You're not actually called Martin Martinez, are you?
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice?
He scans the courtyard. It's silent like the bottom of a well, every sound captured and reflected back. Alright, we'll talk later then.
No. We won't.
He takes one last drag of his cigarette before stubbing it out on the balcony.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Our suggestion is not great for this. Perhaps the chat can help us out to convince him to stay for a little while longer. If we were to improve this, we'd need a point in psyche. This hasn't worked before, but it did before we started the stream. Perhaps it'll work now. It's at 42%. Let's see if chat can help us. Turns out it doesn't work. Which is bizarre because it worked before, but yeah, we didn't get a boost from that. Let's go for it nonetheless. Convince him to stay.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance? hidden behind the curtains.
Hey, listen. I'm just trying to make things okay again. Can we meet again somewhere?
For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes, compassion, and a hint of understanding.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
His voice is soft and deliberate. With a flick of his wrist, he sends the cigarette butt sailing over the rail.
But, hold on, what's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door. It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
He walks away.
He's gone.
The lieutenant puts away his notebook and turns to you. We should run after him, see where he went.
No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself.
So we just give up?
He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. He did leave us a sign. Did you see that? He wanted to draw our attention to that stone right over there.
The lieutenant nods toward a small rock on a soggy patch of grass.
If we find a way inside the building, we can ask around for his apartment.
Great, let's do that. Let's see, it did say like a rock somewhere, did it not? But I'm not really getting a blip for it or anything. But luckily we found the orange bum hat and some nosefed. Let's have a look at the hat. The orange bum hat, +1 to reaction speed, feeling twitchy, -1 rhetoric, bum brain, an orange beanie with a couple of big assholes on the side. It looks like it may have been used as a mask during an armed robbery. That seems like us. Let's put it on. We also picked up the signal blue naval coat before. It gives us +1 to suggestion. Our current one, however, gives us +1 to esprit de corps. We'll hold on to this for now. Just a closed door, but you look at it suspiciously. These barrels are half full of rainwater. Oh, and now I actually noticed the rock. There it is. The one that the smoking man on the balcony pointed us to.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it.
Turn it over.
There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity he doesn't have the apartment number on it. This building has many apartments and the man can be in any of them.
How are we gonna find the right one?
We'll just have to go in and see.
I'll put the stone back. We got the key. Well, we have access here now, but again, we have more pressing matters. We should look into the Cham mystery. We should look into the drug trade to get information about the lynching, right? I mean, surely we'll get a chance to actually search through the apartment buildings later on. I think right now our prerogative, our duty, is to look into the murder. We found a yellow plastic bag. We're gonna use this as a tool. This plastic bag has "Fritte sick" written on it in a dynamic, forceful manner that implies great prizes. As you crack it open, a multi-gust of air flies in your face. Smell of yeast and beer. A perfect place for tear. So now we can pick up empty bottles on the streets to get some money. That goes well with our bum hat. What's this guy about? The things I've seen. It's sad. Nothing I can't do. I'm the chop for every man. Listen, boy. I'll start Topper off if I fix it. I've been kicked out of every joint you've ever saw. Come on, the night's still young. It's only 17:30. That's my song. That's... Nah, this is shit. Music's my life, man. Better mount your wash around me, boy. Oh, I think that's it. I think that's all he has to say. I suppose this was his tear bag that we stole from him. Well, we found some plastic tear. I suppose that stop complaining was supposed to be over this man's head. It wasn't. A splatter of bullet holes lines the wall. You hear the distant squall of seabirds. Those are more money. We're raking in cash right now. We get 63.2 real. I wonder if there's any way we could spend that money. The ad reads, broken window? Tibbs has windows. Our window is broken. I wonder if we can contact Tibbs to replace the window in our hotel room. Hello, little girl.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open.
A young girl with chubby red cheeks waves at you, smiling. Her nose is also red from the cold. Hello.
Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
She stumps her feet to feel warmer. What kind of a store is this anyway?
It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
Oh, Encyclopedia failed that. We have no idea what any of these things are. Little girl, what is a book?
That is a book. They have stories inside them. It's like someone told you a story in a really long letter.
What's a postcard?
A postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few words on the other side and send it to your friend or beloved.
What's a board game?
Board games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time. There are several different ones, but sailors here mostly buy cards.
Interesting, thank you.
My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know?
We gained experience from learning about books, postcards, and board games. Is it okay if I ask you some questions?
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
What is your name?
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock.
The girl gazes at the window, then suddenly jolts, her eyes wide, as if recalling something.
Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
And you're standing out here in the cold because...
I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance and biographies of famous people.
Yes, we should definitely have children outside signaling that the door is open, in the rain, during March. I should have a word with the store owner, maybe.
Oh no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice in my vacuum bottle to keep warm.
She stands upright and smiles like a little soldier. Shouldn't you be at school or something?
I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
But isn't going to school more important than this?
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
There is stress and unease behind these words. She's reciting etiquette.
Well, how's the business going?
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders.
Inland Empire is all about curses. Cursed? In what way?
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go...
They all go ass up.
I wouldn't really say it like that, but I guess so.
Okay, maybe a logical cop doesn't really think that curses are real, but on the other hand, Inland Empire is also pretty strong, so we're pretty strongly drawn towards this mystery. What do you think, chat? Should we just ignore it? Should we say that curses aren't real, or shall we maybe explore this curse in this bookstore? It's unfortunate that the function of the Twitch integration, it doesn't seem to work all the time. I think what we should do at this point, being the logical cop, however, is to say, I don't think curses are real.
They shouldn't be, but they seem real. Anyhow, they say that these grounds are doomed for businesses.
We have an option to be a market liberal, or just be, they're not doomed. Well, we're striving to be a communist, so maybe we won't go with the first one. But we're also very reasonable and logical, so maybe it is something we should say. Oh, they're not doomed, but your mother should learn from their mistakes.
Of course, sir.
She doesn't know what else to say. What's this crime business? I'm a police officer.
Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Wait, not crime fiction. I need to know what crime is. I've lost my memory. I'm a police officer. She doesn't know what to say. It's that bad.
Crime is what we were solving before this conversation began.
Why would anyone want to read about crime?
It's exciting to people, I guess. They get to imagine dangerous things, and it's kind of like a puzzle, where you can guess who the criminal is, or how the good guys are going to catch him.
Well, I'm a policeman myself, by the way.
You don't look much like a policeman.
She examines you as if to find something policeman-like. Huh, well, what does a cop look like then?
Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
She points to a book cover on which you see a strapping Vespertine officer. He stands grimly over the body of a dead woman. Yes, we heard about Dick Mullen. Our co-workers were referring to us as Dick Mullen when they learned that we lost our badge, so they were being sarcastic about it. Let's see. It's not, you know, we're weaklings, so obviously we're physically very, very weak, so obviously we need to point out the fact that it's all about the brain when it comes to police work.
Head? Yes.
No, your mind.
Yes, the distinction is important.
Not head, child. Heads.
Flexibility. There are millions of different people out there, and you have to get into their heads. Sometimes you gotta be the killer to catch the killer.
Isn't that very dangerous?
She examines the picture of a Dick Mullen. Policemen live and breathe danger, little girl. Mullen obviously lacks the chameleonic skill.
Unlike you, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for you.
She smiles mischievously.
Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books.
The cover image of Dick Mullen seems to stare at you with harsh disapproval. What is romance, little girl?
It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man.
She smiles at the thought, perhaps imagining herself in that situation.
Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir.
Oh yes, man and lady business. I know all about that. What about a poor man getting a rich lady?
It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly, like during the revolution or something.
I see.
Those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost, but then it all turns out just fine in the end.
Of course it does. What about when both of the men are bad?
These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that.
Well, what if it's written really well, though?
Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting.
What about when everyone is poor?
That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life.
Sometimes you have to write about real-life things.
Not in romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end.
Or wouldn't that be a functional reality? What about a book where the man and lady business doesn't work out at all?
I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum.
Yeah? You think she has one about an excruciatingly painful breakup?
I don't think it's a romance story if the main characters break up, though.
She pauses, trying to figure out the appropriate answer. No. Think about it. One where they plunge into a torrid spiral of pain and recrimination. Only it's really long and drawn out. Scarred for life. Phantom limb!
No, I don't know.
She looks at you with puzzlement. Does it ring a bell? Alright, I'll ask your mom.
Yes, she knows books. Definitely.
She nods, relieved.
What was that? An idea for an unfinished novel stuck somewhere in your forebrain?
Perhaps. Conceptualization. That's enough romance for me. I had other questions.
Maybe some about other books?
She rubs her chilled nose with her fist. Who are the famous people you talked about earlier?
Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds of people. There's usually something extraordinary about them.
She scratches her cold reddened cheek, then continues.
I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame.
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
Logic wants us to say the first one, so let's do that. Reading those doesn't make the readers more famous, does it?
But it does make the famous people more famous.
We're the superstar cop. We absolutely need to pick the first one. Fame sounds delicious. Maybe someone will write a book about me one day.
Why would they do that, sir?
Yeah, see, the game was already there. Because I'll be a superstar cop, in the papers and everything. That'll show 'em.
That's so cool. Maybe they'll make you a book cover picture and everything. Standing over a dead body, holding a gun.
And our communist thought is chiming in. You can stop calling me sir. I am but a working man.
No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though.
I get you. For example, I can't stop making this face.
That's a friendly enough face, most of the time.
Composure check over here. It's pretty high. +1 because we noticed her anxious body language. +1 should be a book of ourselves because we went with the superstar option. And because we're afraid of the curse, or she's afraid of the curse. It's at 83%. We should be able to nail this, right? Okay, Annette, I'm going to deduce something now.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
We succeeded. Hey, why do you keep your hands folded?
What do you mean, sir?
You don't need to be worried. I'm here to help.
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest.
It's okay.
She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
You bite your nails.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
She shoots you a suspicious glance. It's super simple for a detective such as myself.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
Her eyes flash with defiance. She's not impressed. Want more? Bet I can figure out why you bite your nails. I've got a few reasons in mind.
She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
I can only see one reasonable option here. You're uptight because of your mother and the pressure she's putting on you. This doesn't child labor in dismal working conditions. Means you're recycling your body material. That makes no sense to me. It's an intense dedication to the way of business. There are no riches without personal sacrifice, like, you know, eating your fingers to the bone. How about we see if this works? It hasn't worked for this session, unfortunately, but maybe we can see what the chat wants us to say about this. I'm glad we have reasonable people in the chat. You're uptight because of your mother and the pressure she's putting on you.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
Either way, another ace deduction by the #1 detective in town.
It was okay, sir.
She's still got a rebellious streak.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You think so? Fine. Do better. To do something about me.
You're quite sober.
She snaps back quickly.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
Wait, how do you know I'm usually not?
Because you usually aren't.
Are we having a grand time? I'm not sure we're having a grand time, but I'm also... Maybe we're sad and our head hurts? What do you think, chat? Which is it? Which are we? Hey, we get our first coin toss because we're at 50-50. Let's see, let's say heads for grand time, tails for I'm also sad and my head hurts. Let's flip a coin. Heads. Again, I think we only had heads so far. And I'm having a grand time.
I sure hope you are, sir.
She rubs her red nose.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar, somehow.
Our suggestion is pretty low for this check. But you know what we can do about that? We can put on our signal blue naval coat, which gives us +1 to suggestion. And we can take off our white satin shirt, which gives us -1 suggestion. So that should give it a little boost, right? I don't think the rest of these items actually have any effect on it. It looks like there's still something that does something about it. It still says rhetoric 1. No, I'm looking at rhetoric. I'm a moron. Suggestion is +1. Why don't you give it a suggestion -1? I don't think it's any of these. What does it only say that we have +1? Oh, right, because it's... Never mind. I'm stupid.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
So, okay. The dialogue options work. Let's see if the chat can give me a boost. We need a boost to our psyche to better perform at this check. It's working sometimes and sometimes it isn't, but if I click this, there should be a way for you to give me a boost to my skills. Let's click it. What is this so familiar to us, I wonder? Look at that, it works. 72%. Let's do it. What are you missing here? Why does this feel so familiar?
Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Hang on, so you know me? We've met before.
Yes, I stand in this spot all the time.
She sways back and forth on her feet.
You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir. Telling people about being a star or something. I don't really understand who those stars are.
Yes, we are the Superstar Cup. And the fact that we're going on without our shirt, I guess that prompted the fact that we're going around without our shirt on. Okay. Annette, did I ever talk to you?
Of course, you've stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you.
Thanks, Annette. I'm trying.
Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Party eyes?
Party eyes. Yes, of course. That makes sense.
The lieutenant slowly, ever so slowly, realizes something. Party eyes?
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were probably gurning too. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy.
Does that mean I've been partaking in narcotics?
Oh, baby, that's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing.
So why didn't you tell me you knew to begin with?
I didn't know I had to do that.
She looks puzzled. Thanks, Annette. I think I've learned something about myself today.
I'm glad I could help you, sir.
She smiles a wide, helpful smile. Okay, bye. See you around, Annette. Well, she told us about the bookstore. Maybe we can see if we can buy a book, or 2, or 3. Now that we have some money, it would make sense for us to buy books. I suppose this would be her mother Plaisance. Let's first have a chat with her. Let's see, do we want to do anything about our clothes? Maybe we could go on without our shirt for a while. Well, the signal blue coat doesn't really reveal that we are naked underneath that. Yeah, let's keep this look. And yeah, let's see. That's -1 rhetoric. Our rhetoric is at 3. Our reaction speed is at 4. And we still have skill points we could actually spend here. Are there ways... Are there skills that we should boost? We have a lot of these points. You know, one thing we can do actually, and we should do, since we have a lot of thoughts, we should open a new slot in the thoughts cabinet. It'll cost us a skill point. But once we do that, we can actually internalize an additional thought. And I do believe we didn't actually read through this, through these 2 that we found last time. So how about we do that? Ace is high. Takes 2 hours, 45 minutes to internalize, gives us +1 empathy towards Kim Kitsuragi while we're researching it. The Insulindian Civil War was not the first war to see the use of aerostatic aircraft on both sides, but it was the longest. For 8 years, folded multi-rotor aircrafts crisscrossed the air above Revachol, Ozon, Face-à-la-Mer, and the Arcade Islands. They made sweeps over the sandy beaches and shot each other out of the blue sky, then sank as wrecks to the bottom of the sea. The Aces High was a custom on the revolutionary side, performed by squadron mates after landing. Lieutenant Kitsuragi likes it, but why is that? Perhaps this is a thing we should internalize. It's only +1 empathy towards Kim. It doesn't increase our empathy towards everybody. But it's a thought we can internalize, and I don't see a reason not to do it. As for the skills, I'm gonna put 1 in volition. That'll increase our health pool for morale. which is way higher already than our endurance, but we're not a physical person, are we? Oh, we have physical instrument as our signature skill. I thought it would be shivers, but I think, we may have made a different choice there. Despite the fact that we aren't a very physical person, I guess physical instrument makes sense, but electrochemistry also spoke up. And electrochemistry loves drugs. I think we love drugs. Let's level up electrochemistry for no reason whatsoever. Except the changes. Hello.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance.
The clerk extends a greeting.
Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
We have to pick the first one, obviously. We've been asking people... we've been asking people for money for a while now. Before we go on, you seem to be well off enough. Can you give me some money? I feel there won't be an opportune moment to ask later.
Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be doing you a grave psychic disfavour.
She gives you a disapproving look.
One has to earn one's success, even if one is a police officer. Handouts are nothing but manipulation. All they do is make you dependent.
Are you the owner of the store?
I am. The proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Her voice is high-pitched, as if to give it more penetration.
She has fine-tuned her voice to find the most welcoming approach for attracting new customers. It doesn't work.
It really doesn't, does it, Suggestion? What if I want to buy a book?
Then why are you talking to me? Everything is on the shelves to browse. Don't you feel compelled to buy anything? See those shelves there? Go, be drawn.
She fiddles with her pendant, then waves her bony fingers directly at you. What types of books do you have here?
Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself. The shelves compel you, don't they?
She's attempting to mentally direct you towards the shelves. She only wants you to buy the goods. She doesn't care about the books.
Volition may have kicked in just because we actually added a point to it. It was not deliberate on my part, but it may have been the case. Do you even know what books do you have for sale?
Truth be told, not really. My sister brings in most of the goods. I'm sure it's all very literary stuff with well-written prose. But you don't learn about the important things in life from fabricated stories.
Shouldn't the storekeeper know about her wares?
I provide a valuable service. As long as people buy books, I'm fine.
She wiggles her bony fingers at you. Where do you learn about the important things then?
The truth is available if you just know where to look, and you have to open and free your mind to understand.
She nods at you cryptically. I feel as if this might be a jab at what's going on in the world right now with fake information and false news, but let's not break immersion. Alright, I'll take a look then. Thank you.
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
The girl outside mentioned that this place is cursed.
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir.
That would be your daughter who's standing outside the store, right?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
I did.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
Well, I think I'd go with either 10 or I'd go with the last one. But how about for this? We let the chat decide. How should we rate Annette? How compelled were we to buy books after talking with Annette, who was biting her fingers to the bone because of the cold, because her mother keeps her there? What do you think, chat? That was an unloaded question at all. Thank you, chat. I'm not going to grade a human being. I don't do that.
Come now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. I expect an answer.
Shit. 10. She's certainly very polite and helpful.
My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
All this pressure has made her really anxious. You know, she's been chewing her nails.
God, I've told her not to do that. It's such a disgusting habit. She'll get over it. Anxiety is a part of life.
I don't think she could do anything about it.
She can, if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains. Life isn't easy. Life doesn't give breaks.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
What you're doing is wrong. Even I know that, and I usually don't know anything.
She stands stiff and severe, silently fuming. 10 or so seconds pass without change. This is a person coming to terms with a new reality, one where they are wrong. It's not easy.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there. There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress.
She stops, but her mouth keeps moving. Is this husband Annette's father?
Yes. My husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne.
Grand Couronne? What's that?
It's a proper place to live. One of the most peaceful neighbourhoods east of Jamrock. You may know it for its massive housing projects. Most of the buildings are empty at the moment. It's a great opportunity to get ahead of the crowds. Better times ahead for sure.
And your husband's also involved with the bookstore?
He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner.
Is she an only child?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really. Not in this economy.
Yes, this economy.
A glimmer of sadness blinks through the well-crafted exterior.
I was well ahead of you, game. Alright, let's be a little bit of a hustler, communist, cop person. Of course, yes, this economy.
Exactly.
She agrees wholeheartedly. She told me she doesn't go to school anymore.
She's been too busy helping me here. So she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course.
Plaisance nods.
I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off.
What, in a million years? Alright, I had something else in mind.
The woman looks aloof, her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
Farewell for now, book peddler. Alright, so what's all this about books? Books are things with stories inside them. There's gift books and molten candy. They supposedly have these pages with words in them.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
Storekeep, could you tell me something about these Muscle Man books?
Oh, Man from Hyundai. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books.
She looks at the book with some disdain. Why are they so popular?
Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to grab those with little imagination and nothing to do.
Sounds good. Which one should I start with?
What does it matter? They're all the same. However, the customer is always right, they say.
She rolls her eyes and fiddles with her pendant.
If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hyundalaman, the man from Hyundal. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the series.
Okay, we can buy that book for 9 real. But first, let's look through the display of books here.
Rows and rows of Heimdallar blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Heimdall and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Heimdall, Return to Heimdall. And the solipsistic Man from Heimdall and the Heimdall Man.
Good God, how many are there?
Maybe 100. Man from Heimdall and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Heimdall and the false god. Man from Heimdall and the scorched earth. Man from Heimdall, the Heimdall colonies. Man from Heimdall and the swamp beast. Man from Heimdall and the snow crabs.
Is that all?
Not even close. Man from Heimdall in hell. Man from Heimdall and the forest of slaves. Man from Heimdall under the lake. Man from Heimdall, Heimdall burning. There's even The Trial of Death, a pastoral combat game book set in the world of Heimdallar Man, and so much more.
Our pain threshold is still pretty pitiful. We could ask pain threshold if any of these books call out to us. Perhaps for this we could use the help of the chat and click this button here. If you want to give me a boost to pain threshold, it would be physique you need to boost. I feel like I'm repeating myself when I say it hasn't worked great, but it did work last time. Perhaps it works now. Let's find out. It did. It got a boost. Let's go for it. Do any of these Heimdallar Man books call out to me?
Nothing of interest. Only silence and the cosmic background pain radiation.
Aww. Maybe we shouldn't buy the Heimdallar Man book just yet. Let's go through all these other interesting books in the store.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Storekeep, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Raubritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family?
Wow, I have children? A family?
It certainly feels like whatever you are will die with you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for chiming in, Inland Empire. Thanks for making me ask the question that reduced our morale by 1 point. I don't feel as if I have any kids.
Friends are technically like family.
She fiddles with her pendant, thinking.
For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
I don't even have to think about that. I want to buy the Suzerainty game.
Wonderful choice, sir. A wholesome family game.
Sounds like it. Repressing other civilizations is fun for the whole family. What about all these Wirral things you mentioned?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all.
Yeah, they're role-playing games. Nobody actually plays those, do they? Nobody in their right mind would play role-playing games.
I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them, though.
She looks at the table, crossing her arms. Let's look through the pile of the Wirral-related items.
An endless variety of source books, law books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition.
Tell me more about the Velkin Compendium.
There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Catawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books?
Anything that really catches my eye?
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real.
25 real? For a supplement? We don't even have the core game. Why would we buy that? Be gone, Virol. Until we find the core game, we're not touching that. Maybe. Old sports magazines, tucked away in a dark corner. Hello, Annette. How's it going now that you're inside?
I'm sorry, sir. I can't talk right now. I'm very busy with my homework. I have so much homework now.
You just can't win.
You really can't.
Out of the rain and into the gutter.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing now?
Math. It's really difficult. Like, really. They say you need it to get rich. Better than standing outside in the cold, I guess. Oh, I found something while you were away.
What is it?
I thought this would fit you. Like, thanks for helping out. Not me. The city, I mean. Like a detective does.
She gives you a hat, almost exactly like the one Dick Mullen wears on the covers. Where'd you get it?
Just what Dick Mullen would ask. I got it from behind the curtains. I'm not really supposed to go there.
It's a... fedora?
Maybe. It's the hat Dick Mullen wears all the time. You'll look way more serious with that.
She grins with joy.
Right, I have to get back to my homework now, before Mum notices. Man, this is hard.
She looks back at the infernal scribblings under her nose. Okay, see you around, Annette. Take care. Let's have a look around. What else do we have here? She mentioned the curtains. Are those the curtains? Maybe we'll get to the curtains in a little bit.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over.
Oh, Dick Mullen, this is our scene. Before we go through this, let's have a look at her hat that we got from Annette. Dick Mullen's hat, +1 on encyclopedia, because we're book smart. If anything, this white-rimmed hat looks even better than the hat Dick Mullen wears. Dick Mullen is stupid and not even real. You're real. Your brain is real. Your real brain is inside the hat. A real brain. I think we can part with the orange bum hat and put on the Dick Mullen hat. Oh, looking snazzy. I like going around with no shirt. I don't think we're gonna wear that shirt. Not right now, anyway. Oh, there's the Suzerainty game. A civilization building board game where you get to choose a nation and set off to colonialize and exploit other cultures. A star-shaped note on the box proclaims the game now includes a completely new genocide option. I don't think we're gonna be playing that now. Let's go through some of these Dick Mullen books.
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly stalwart Vespertine detective, Dick Mullen.
Storekeep, what's all this crime fiction?
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that out. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a person how to be a proper detective.
That's reasonable. We should buy all of these books to learn about how to be a cop. Look through the display of books.
Crime fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
Absolutely.
You see, Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. An Obvious Lie. Dick Mullen in the Clock Tower. The Ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's Funeral Pyre. The Murder of Dick Mullen.
Dick Mullen dies?
Oh no, turns out he faked it to solve a case.
Ah, clever. Are there any more?
Yes, there's also The Dame Who Did It. Farewell, My Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. Morbid Tales of Dick Mullen. A Dark Tide Turns. Tragedy Calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen?
Reaction speed is at 3. We put on our wrong hat. I would have assumed that taking off the orange bum hat and replacing it with the Dick Mullen hat would actually improve our odds at this, but clearly we actually need to put on the orange bum hat.
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly stalwart Vespertine detective, Dick Mullen.
It's a 72%, but perhaps the chat can help us with this. If we want to increase our reaction speed, we need to increase our motorics over here. So let's see if you want to help me out with that. Uh-oh. Why did we lose health? Somebody reduced our... Somebody actually reduced our physique. Okay, somebody did increase this too, so okay, who's Dick Mullen? Let's do it quick.
Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads, Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity.
What do we have here? Mistaken Identity?
A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence.
Why does this speak to me?
Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals?
That's probably right. I'm a complicated guy full of contradictions.
Then this is the book for you.
Oh boy, we have to buy this, right? We have to buy this Dick Mullen novel.
Of course. Such violence and immorality. I mean, enjoy.
Okay, let's go through the rest of it. A quaint picture book brochure. Very colorful. It's a tome of fascist magic? Rather candid.
The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell.
Storekeep, anything of note in the shelf?
I would say... The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool delving into the depths of history, religion, and their relation to innocentic power.
Who or what is an innocence?
A very influential historical figure. But surely I don't have to tell you that. You're a law officer, and law officers have at least some education.
Yeah, surely we do.
The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things.
I thought it was about which of these innocences is the coolest and greatest. Because that speaks to us. We're a superstar cop.
Perhaps for a layman, deep analysis is necessary to peel back the multi-layered meanings.
Surely we can understand. I'm sure conceptualization is going to chime in here.
Do her words seem vague and abstract to you?
What did I tell you? So you recommend it?
Certainly. It's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one? Definitely. It's important somehow. There's something personal inside.
Before we invest in the greatest innocence, let's look through the display of books.
Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. It's all just vapid egoism. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irv and Alfie Delatraz, by one Cecilia Averbrook.
What's it about?
High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irv. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other.
Shooting morphine and cocaine into your eyes?
Next to that, Revacholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse though, but not too long.
Jesus Christ, Blissons, I just bought 2 books. Just like 5 fucking minutes ago.
She understands she has erred against the customer and immediately corrects course.
That's right.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. Time is commerce.
Well, Inland Empire really wants us to buy the book about the greatest innocence. Perhaps we should invest in it.
A true cultural touchstone. Enjoy the read.
I'm sure I will. We still have a couple of shelves to go through before we're done with the bookstore.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez.
Hey, we know what these are. We got the reality lowdown from Choice last time. We know Insulinda is the ocean, so maybe we'll take a look at that.
This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here. Another, far away in the southwest, Seminese Islands, Ile de Fantôme.
What else?
Ozon, Laurentide, Fas à la Mer, Archipelagos, North Arcade Islands, all just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white, disintegrating into mathematics. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou in a bookstore. It's you.
Can I see cities on the islands?
You can. On Caillou, Revachol, a single black star. On Ozon, Fondelier, and Vilmandu. On archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers. On Seminine, Olduvai, and on Laurentide, Deora of the Seven Seas. 850 million people live on these little dots, an oceanic world of culture and commerce torn apart by history.
Look at the edges.
The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Windy is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Samara is the east azimuth. Seol is the west azimuth. Isolas, they're called. Connections to other worlds. Words past the Incelindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they are. Distant stars, gods, but looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away.
Oh boy, we should have probably equipped our Dick Mullen hat before looking into the shelf, because we just failed. Oh well, we would have failed it nonetheless. It compares 17 against our total, which is 10. The hat would have given +1. So this would have been a really difficult to actually succeed.
Perhaps they are gods. Gods of distance and outer dust.
Same goes for conceptualization. Look at the map of Revachol. That would be the city, the great city we live in.
The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East.
And west of the river.
Hudon. It's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad, and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst.
Couronne was, I believe, referred to by Plaisance. They were about to move to Grand Couronne.
You feel you're just west of Coal City, somewhere above Jamrock and close to Coal City.
Look at the map of Martinez. That's where we are right now.
It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48.
Which means it's 3 years old.
Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling in rags there.
Storekeep, can I buy these maps?
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them.
Scarcely afford. I have 30, almost 39 real to my name. Are you telling me I'm poor?
They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though.
You seem to underestimate my resources, but sure, okay.
Yes, yes. Are you interested or not?
We could steal the map, or attempt to steal the map. Okay, chat, should we buy the map, or should we steal it instead? What do you think we should do? We could afford it. But I think I want to leave this up to the chat. I have the best chat. They're not immoral at all. Let's buy the map of Martinez for 90 cents.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
It's true. Okay, one last book stand. What is this about?
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature.
Look through the shelf.
Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance.
Sounds like bullshit to me.
The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people Medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services.
How does that work?
It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to, and which costs more than this book, is garbage, and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that in real life too.
Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything. Though it is important to note, when it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place.
That's a nice catch-22. Does the book say anything else?
The book features chapters on topics such as how to find magnesium. It even lists plants you can harvest magnesium from. How to continue drinking if you're an alcoholic who has destroyed his liver. And...
No. How about that one with the... How do we keep drinking when we're an alcoholic who's destroyed their liver? Because I think we've done that. That might actually be useful to us.
There's even a chapter on the ancient Seraise tradition of using duck gallbladder preservatives to treat and prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Pre and post factum apply. Nothing worth buying.
Again, that's actually something from the real world. I do believe that pig bladders were used as condoms. I don't remember which year, but, you know, it's not that far off. Or am I just talking rubbish? Perhaps you should read a book about it, see if I'm lying or not.
This is just mundane garbage. What's even paranatural about this?
Yeah, Inland Empire is very paranatural in nature, and even that is... Even Inland Empire thinks this is bullshit. Storekeep, what books are these?
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not for free. I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh no!
Okay. Well, Inland Empire is pretty high. It's at 72%. We heard about the crime, the curse, so that gives us +1, but we said we don't believe in curses, so it's -1. How about chat? Maybe you could boost up Inland Empire. In order to do that, you'd have to increase my psyche. If we want to find something truly otherworldly in this shelf of books that is probably absolute garbage. Oh, look at that. It's working. Yes, let's try to find something truly otherworldly.
The throbbing in your head increases with every passing moment you gaze at this shelf. Suddenly, as if out of nowhere, a small green book becomes apparent. The title of it reads, Medicinal Purposes of the Pale.
What's the pale?
The book contains very little explanation on the matter. This knowledge seems to be taken for granted.
Okay, so what's it about then?
The book contains descriptions of various pseudo-scientific therapies, alternative medicines, and folk remedies involving the pale, also known as le territoire. For example, it recommends vigorously swatting one's naked body with a venik, or hand broom, made from the leafy twigs of a young birch tree from the near pale.
Huh, well that's something some people actually do after a sauna. They hit themselves with birch leaves. Sounds invigorating to me, to be honest.
It is, and good for the circulation too.
That's what they do say. What else?
It also recommends consuming distilled spirits, like vodka or whiskey, that have been aged in the pale. Readers are instructed to cover these jars in a shallow hole just inside the pale, and leave them there for 30 to 60 days, depending on the potency desired.
What does it do? What does liquor do when it's pale-aged in this manner?
Among other benefits, it is alleged to restore a damaged liver to perfect health.
Ooh, I should probably get my hands on that. What else is in there?
For general health and well-being, readers are encouraged to take regular strolls through the Pale, though a sidebar cautions readers to limit each stroll to less than an hour.
But we still don't know what Pale is.
These strolls promise to cleanse the mind of worries and the body of toxins, especially if the perambulator performs this ritual in the nude. Nudity figures prominently in a number of these prescriptions.
Sounds legit.
This is exactly what you need.
Is it? Anything else of note?
There's an entire section devoted to cures for men who are struggling to perform their marital obligations.
Well, I certainly don't need that.
You close the book and return it to its place on the shelf.
To buy the medicinal purposes of the Pale for $4.20. Yeah.
Indeed. Something about that book does seem to have spoken to you. Well, I hope it contains what you're looking for.
Another boring book, just discarded there. Well, we did some shopping in the bookstore. There's still the curtain we could maybe look into. The book collects the national recipes of Arda. They're all about lake trout. There still is this curtain. Let's have a look.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
What's behind the curtains, shopkeep?
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
She fiddles with her pendant.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books.
It's clearly not working. Or maybe it is. We did buy a whole bunch of books.
Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
Yeah, it's like telling a bunch of kids, don't jump on the ice. It's never gonna work. They're just gonna jump on the ice. It's the same with the curtain and us. Examine the strange cage-like trinket.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges.
Oh, a ward. Thank you, Encyclopedia. Who are the Seminese?
Inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme, the Seminine Islands down south.
Yeah, I think we actually had a reference to this. To Ile de Fantôme, in any case.
Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you.
Well, let's pull them open.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hand has closed around her pendant, her fingers nervously playing with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
I bought books. Is this about the curse? Is that why you're afraid?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
She's almost begging you. Ma'am, this is different. I'm a police officer, and I need to get in there.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there.
She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
But I sense this place calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold. See, we're not actually being parapsychological, but we're appealing to her part of the brain, where if we say this, maybe she'll believe us. that we really need to open this curtain for whatever reason.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
I don't care, you can't stop me, I'll open them.
No, please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Well, she wants to speak. Let's speak with her, see if we can convince her that we need to open these curtains, as opposed to just deliberately opening them, but when she doesn't want us to. Let's have a talk.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Yes, hello, Plaisance. I've been here for the last 2 hours. I don't know why you're saying hello again. Why are you so uptight about those curtains? I just want to see what's on the other side.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
If it's just a storage room, then why does it have a Seminoese ward protecting it?
It's just for decoration.
She wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed into a tight-lipped smile, then something breaks.
Okay, fine. It's because this place is cursed. Just like Annette said, they don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing.
The doomed commercial area, they call it that?
Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
She closes her eyes and starts mumbling something to her pendant.
Take it easy. You've broken her resistance. Pushing her further will gain nothing.
Suggestions chiming in. How does this curse manifest itself?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
A shiver runs through the woman as she looks around the dimly lit store.
It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
She peers at the curtains again.
Didn't that curtain just move?
Did it? Ah, Annette mentioned that the previous tenants have experienced some financial troubles.
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements.
Yes, the cacodemons are behind all of it.
There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Have you sought help from anyone?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists, and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards.
She nods at the strange cage-like trinket on the curtains.
The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough.
Is that pendant part of the wards as well? As we point to her necklace.
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books.
It clearly worked. We bought a whole bunch of books.
There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
That's awfully accurate. What should we say, chat? Should we just tell her that we could see if the curse is real, or tell her outright that the curse isn't real, but we're still gonna look into it? And we could ask, why didn't she just tell us right away, I suppose, but, let's leave it up to you folks. What shall we say? Chat has spoken. We have 67%. For this, would you like me to take the case? I could investigate, see if the curse is real. So we're not going to confront her that she's wrong about the curse.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
My liege, you know what this case calls for? A para-detective.
Oh yes, it does. It certainly does. It's not even that we believe. Drama just wants us to fake that we believe. Convince her to let you investigate the Doom commercial area. 92% because, and +2 because we helped Annette. Perhaps the chat can still give us a boost to this. If we want to make it even better than 92%, we'd have to boost our intelligence or our intellect to make it better. Let's see. Can we make it even better than that? Oh yes, we can. In order to fail this, we'd have to roll snake eyes. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
But wait, what if I don't want to lie, Drama?
You're not lying. You're giving her peace of mind. The means are thus justified.
Yes, I see what you're suggesting. Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled a paranatural situation before.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I sense the psychic emanations from afar. The sleeper beyond calls out.
I'm not sure I can trust your claims. Honestly, you look like a bit of a drinker. I'm sorry for being so blunt, but...
Hey now, hey. You need the booze to focus, alright?
Yes, that's right, electrochemistry.
The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook.
I admit I've had my fair share of drinks, but only because the spectral realm of spectral realm is parapsychology. I admit I've had my share of drinks, but only because the spectral realm is parapsychologically taxing.
How do you know all this?
Here we go.
Your warrants brought me here in the first place. The Seminole's blood also runs through me.
You're part Simonese. Oh, it means our meeting couldn't have been mere chance. The hand of fate guides us. But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
I'm sure Kim will be following this up just fine. Just ask my partner Kim. He'll vouch for me. The lieutenant mumbles in minor confusion. He has not been listening closely enough. You've put him on the spot.
Certainly so, ma'am. I can assure you my partner is eminent in this particular field.
That's the way, Kim.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
On my honor, Plaisance.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Yes, the entity. For I have sensed its presence.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Chimney, the passage between heaven and hell, of course.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there.
Maybe playing role-playing games.
Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin.
Farewell for now, book peddler. We spoke our way in. We don't have to force our way in. We can just open the curtains now and she won't be...
You see a set of
She won't mind.
blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Pull them open.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Oh!
Plaisance tries her best to look away, with her round face buried in her hands, as she exclaims that. Looks a little dark in there. Perhaps we can put on our flashlight? Have it in our hand? It's still pretty dark. This is a visual glitch with the game, unfortunately, where we can't really see where we're going. Let's step outside for a little while. Maybe we'll come back. Maybe it's all good again. Well, here we are outside the bookstore, and wait, it's 7:25 p.m. We were supposed to look into the drug thing. We've spent hours in the bookstore, not doing police work. We've been looking for books. We're supposed to... Oh, we're the worst detective ever. Oh. Well, I think that's a good time for us to take an actual break from the game for a little while. We were supposed to investigate the drug trade in the harbor, but instead we now undertook a new task, which is to investigate the doomed commercial area. People say the commercial building on the plaza is cursed. No business will ever thrive there without going bankrupt. You promised Plaisance you'll look into it. Enter the sealed door behind the bookstore and find out what happened to the companies there. We need to also search for the malignant entity, because apparently she lives in the chimney, the gateway between heaven and hell, as we know. But for the time being, I think what we're gonna do is save our game right here. And next time, well, we don't know. Maybe we'll actually examine the drug trade, or perhaps we'll go back into the store and look into the malignant entity. Who knows what shenanigans we'll be up to next time in Disco Elysium.